I hope some of you intrepid young anime fans are also intrepid young gamers and understood my hint at the end of the last video.
Rejoice, everyone. We're back with another Sekhie Reacts to Fate. This week is Himiko. Princess Himiko, or Himiko...
Queen Himiko. Empress, Chauvinist Queen. So you had something you wanted to preface the video with.
Yes. I do want to preface this by saying at the time of this recording, Guda Guda 5, Guda 5, the event Himiko debuts in the game, has not released. My knowledge is only what I can discern from like the lore written in the wiki. So if I miss something, feel free to point it out in the comments. And if we hit 500 subscribers before I do the update video and I ask for things you want updates on and I missed a shit ton from Himiko, please remind me in that post if we have our community count by then.
I'm gonna move the mouse so it's not... Okay. So, I figure I'll start here because I actually know more about Himiko than you do, historically.
Yes.
Himiko is fascinating for me because my first exposure to the name Himiko was in the 2018 Tomb Raider movie, right? Which was before I'd played any of the Tomb Raider games, but Himiko is the queen whom they're seeking the tomb of, right? And it is the Himiko of Japanese history, with some mystical kind of changes made to her lore and that sort of thing. But post that, I actually took several Asian history classes, very specific ones, and my first part about this video is actually just going to be a little briefing of all the notes I took that have to do with Himiko and that kind of thing. So, sit down, relax, and enjoy Japan, the Edge of Asia, origins and development of Japanese civilization to 1281 CE, but we're only covering up to 300 CE.
This is what we paid for an education for, guys.
Yeah, I paid for this education to share it with you people. Anyways, so the earliest culture on the Japanese archipelago was the Jomon culture, right, which existed from about 14,000 to 200 BC, which was pretty much just a foraging society with some of our earliest recorded pottery shards in the world, which is pretty cool. But following the Jomon culture, the Yayoi culture took over from approximately 500 BC to 300 CE, right? Now, they came in, they brought a lot of new technologies. Interestingly enough, biologically, by judging skeletons, we see that they were smaller and less healthy, but bore more babies than the earlier Jomon peoples. But by the year 300, they comprised about 80% of the population, and a lot of researchers believe that the leftover Jomon peoples became today's modern-day Ainu, right? The natives of the Japanese Isles. The Yayoi culture also perpetuated intensive agriculture, which led to surpluses, hierarchy, and a lot of wars. So, all across Japan, during the time of the Yayoi culture, there were chiefdoms, right? And so this is really early in Japanese history. This is before most records of Japanese history start, right? Written records. We actually don't have more than, I think, 1 or 2 written mentions of Himiko in Japanese history, right? Until much, much later. But starting in the 1st century CE, we have communication records with the Chinese emperors and dynasties of rulers of the Yayoi culture and significant chunks of land. And one of those places was the Wa Kingdom, right? Which sent representatives to China representing a great queen named Himiko. And she's recorded in Wei dynasty Chinese histories as Himiko, or Xingyi Wao, ruler of Wa, friend of Wei, as in the Wei dynasty. She was she's kind of referred to as like a shamaness queen, because this is pre-emperor empress. Like, this is before Japan even had emperor empresses. There were chiefdoms, queens, princes, and that kind of thing. And honestly, at this point in time, females had a lot of ruling power quite in Japan, either solo or in tandem with men. And Himiko was very powerful and had unified some very large sections of Japan, but not central sections of Japan, but large enough that she was able to have a significant amount of money, and she was able to send tribute and representatives to the Chinese courts of the Wei dynasty. And at this point in history, the Chinese dynasty still kind of referred to the Japanese archipelago as like their sphere of influence, right? Like this is before Japan really comes into its own with like the Ashikagas and all that sort of stuff, and the Kamakura. Like this is pre Ashikaga Kamakura, right? And so that's kind of what I learned about Himiko during class. Like that's what my notes cover. We didn't really go deeper than that because we really had to cover literally 14,000 BC to 1281 CE in a single lecture. And let me tell you, that is a lot of years to cover in one PowerPoint. But further investigation into her, we do have some more Japanese records looking at where Wakoku is, and where her domain was, which was also known as Yamatai. We kind of know where she existed in Japan. And we actually have a theoretical burial place for her. And she has been, in Japanese history at least, associated with Empress Consort Jingu, who was a regent in 200-ish CE, although Himiko would have been kind of contemporary but older, but Himiko isn't mentioned in any Japanese histories at that time. So, whether or not... You know, this is kind of a figure that falls into almost mythological categories. Like, the records we have of her are Chinese. There's no Japanese records
Even
of her.
some of those, though, aren't, like, isn't she recorded as doing feats that she couldn't have done?
That's why she's known as the shamanist queen, yeah. Yeah, so there's not a whole ton of references to her. The first record of her is in the Record of the Three Kingdoms, which are Chinese classical texts, which is Record of Wei, Account of Hua Jin, which was an account of which was volume 30 of the Book of Wei, right? And what they said of her was, I believe, the country formerly ruled had a man as a ruler for some 70 or 80 years after that. There were disturbances and warfare. Therefore, the people agreed upon a woman for the ruler. Her name was Himiko. She occupied herself with magic and sorcery, bewitching the people. Though mature in age, she remained unmarried. She had a younger brother who assisted her. After she became ruler, there were few who saw her. She had 1,000 women as attendants, but only one man who served her food and drink. She resided in a palace surrounded by towers and stockades with armed guards and constant vigilance. That actually is reflective in the Tomb Raider 2018 movie. I don't know about the game. I haven't played that game yet. It is, I think, the 2012 or 2008 game. It's not the first one. But in the 2018 Tomb Raider movie, Himiko is a sorceress queen who is called the Bringer of Death. I'm not going to spoil that plot point for you, but she's also buried with 1,000 handmaidens or something like that to guard her in death.
Aren't there some accounts where she's a little, like, a lot of the foreign accounts are very generous, of like, they build her up, and there are some accounts that are like, maybe she was a little bit of a authoritarian ruler and
yeah, so here's another one, right? This is this is a record of Wei from Wei Emperor Saorui in 238. Here we address Himiko, Queen of Hua, who we now officially call Friend of Wei. Your envoys have arrived here with your tribute consisting of 4 male slaves and 6 female slaves, together with 2 pieces of cloth with designs 20 feet in length. You live very far away across the sea, yet you have sent an embassy with tribute. Your loyalty and filial piety we appreciate exceedingly. We confer upon you the title Queen of Hua, friendly to Wei, together with the decoration of the golden seal with purple ribbon. The latter, properly encased, is to be sent to you through the governor. We expect you, O Queen, to rule your people in peace and to endeavor to be devoted and obedient. So there's also one about her death, that says that after she died, a king was placed on her throne, but the people would not obey him, and he was assassinated, and only a 13-year-old girl who was a relative of Himiko named Io was able to properly rule the land, because no man could take over after her. And there's, a few other more kind of like just keeping track of, like, Queen Himiko kept 1,000 maids, like, this woman placed herself on the throne, kept 1,000 female attendants. So one of the common things in her myth is the 1,000 female attendants, right? And the fact that she's like the strong female queen. The 2 oldest Japanese histories do not mention her at all. Not at all. However, imperial family shamans in the imperial family lineage, because the Japanese imperial family traces their lineage back to, like, the earliest rulers that can be identified in Japanese history. Like, I've seen this list. It's insane. They go so far back. They call her Yamamoto Toto Himomo Sohime no Mikoto. And they call her the aunt of Emperor Sujin, who is the legendary 10th Japanese emperor, daughter of Emperor Korei, Yamamoto Hime no Mikoto, daughter of Emperor Suinin, and that sort of thing. Incidentally, I think the first time she's mentioned in Japanese history is quite a lot later in history. And so they're really just going off hearsay, word of mouth, kind of the stories that have been passed down. But, you know, I think, let's see, hang on. So she's associated with several other famous females in Japanese history, right? Like, Japanese historians actually kind of conflate her with possibly Empress Consort Jingu or the first Yamamoto Hime no Mikoto, because they are mentioned earlier in history than she is, so they think maybe this is just another name for Himiko, like maybe they just gave her a different name or that sort of thing. Fun fact, she is actually mentioned in Korean sources. She's mentioned in the oldest extant Korean history text, the Samguk Sagi, the Chronicles of the Three Kingdoms, which was not completed until 1145, I will say, and it records that Queen Himiko sent an emissary to the King of Shilla in May of 173, right? Which does actually match up with the time periods of her life, right? Because she's recorded somewhere between like 160 and like 250-ish, like in that kind of like 100-year series. But it's interesting, and she's actually fairly prolific across video games and other media. Like, surprisingly, I believe she's, let's see. She's appeared in the manga Lord, Phoenix, Nihon no Rekishiki, After School Charisma. She was in the Tomb Raider comics. She's in Steel Jig game. She's in Legend of Himiko. She's in the video game Okami. She's in the 2013 Tomb Raider reboot. That's it. Fate Grand Order, obviously. Civilizations 4. She's a recruitable hero. Warriors Orochi. She's even in Persona 4. So, like, she's fairly prolific for being such a mysterious and possibly non-existent figure.
When you have question marks in history, it leaves a lot of room to fill in the blanks.
Yeah. And so, I mean, so that's what I know of the historical story and figure of Himiko.
By the way, if it wasn't quite obvious for that last, for the last anime video game stuff, that was all sourced right here, so... Yeah,
it is from the Wikipedia. I have looked up a few of these, though, and it is, you know...
Oh, I assume, right?
Yeah.
I don't imagine Wikipedia is not correct on this part here.
Yeah, so...
Yeah, let's get started on the servant, I guess. Yeah,
I mean, I know a fair bit about her historically, but, you know, I know what there is to know. You know what I mean? So I'm curious about her as a servant, because all of our recorded, like, early sources of her are Chinese, but she's Japanese. Like, which way are they gonna go with style? Like, am I gonna be surprised? Am I gonna hate it? Am I gonna love it? Is this gonna be lollybait? Well, I'm gonna be mad if this is lollybait.
Maybe it is.
We just had Wu Zetian. I can't.
This is design 1.
Okay. Not lollybait. Emphatically not lollybait.
No. Very much so. Not lollybait.
Yeah, very much so. Madam. Oh. I like that. I like her crown. I like that a lot. Yeah, I like that.
I figured that would be your favorite amongst
the
three.
To be fair, I do actually like the first one too, though.
Really?
I think I do like all three. I guess it goes
for kind of the I don't know, I want to say the shaman look, but it's got like some religious...
Yeah, you see that kind of outfit in a little less horny in a lot of anime when they're doing kind of period stuff. Like, all three of these fit really well in like a period anime or drama, to be honest.
It's just...
little less horny.
The horny is real.
I mean, this is straight out of any anime. Like, this is no more horny than regular anime. And I like it.
So she's actually a ruler class servant.
You know what? I kind of would have been disappointed if she was anything else. Because I don't think she would have fit a caster role.
Probably not, but...
I don't think they could have justified a caster role without doing some fucky-wucky in the back end. So I'm kind of happy she's a ruler.
We'll get to that.
What?
I think they could have justified the caster role a little bit knowing her lore and fate.
Oh, okay.
So there's her sprite.
Okay. Does she... Wait, go back to the second sprite. She just turns blonde.
Yep.
Oh, I thought that was a headdress. Not that she just became blonde. Okay.
Here at the, I guess
Yeah, I thought it was a headdress. Okay. I really like her art.
Actually, I think that is a headdress. You can see her hair in the background there.
Oh, okay. Because you can't see it in the sprite. Sprite 2. Aw, that's cute. I feel it, Himiko. That's how I look waking up most of the time. Just like, ugh.
Alright, so Himiko the servant.
She's so cute. I
So-
love her.
Fate. So Himiko is a very carefree personality, I think, as far as what I was reading at least.
Mm-hmm.
It jumps into that shaman aspect a lot, saying not only was she like a religious shaman, she was straight up actually using magecraft, because that is something that occurs in the world.
Yeah, we've seen that before, like, Blavatsky.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've seen... You want to stop pulling up the movie wikis?
I try
on the
not to.
side?
Hi, Grogu. Go away, Grogu.
You gotta... Okay.
So that's why I'm like, she could have been justified as a caster, because she is actually a mage.
Yeah. Yeah, but I don't know. I feel like I like her better as a ruler.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So she is she's carefree, but apparently she has a bit of an authoritarian side as well.
I mean, okay, here's the thing. You know what? We've brought this up before with like some other servants, right? But like, here's the thing. So do most male rulers. Like, to be a ruler, you gotta be a little...
Okay, but she was also recorded as having 1,000 hand servants, and we know from well-recorded rulers that hand servants were not exactly the, like...
They were maiden hand servants. It's not like she was fucking 1,000. You know what? If she was, kudos to her.
So this is where I get that from, though. She's many different methods to subdue conflicts, sometimes with her prophecies, sometimes by force... Sorry, I didn't mean to say anything.
That's actually pretty funny. Aww.
So, yeah, she actually is going to be featured pretty prominently in, I don't know if it'll be upcoming or just past as far as when this video releases, the Guda Guda Yamatai event.
Oh, cool. Yeah, Yamatai, the place where she ruled and controlled a lot of stuff. Yeah.
So her method of combat is to actually use mirrors that fire beams of light at her enemies. She's abnormally strong, making her very scary at hand-to-hand combat.
Well, for a queen who... What we do know of her in history, right, according to Chinese rule, was an unusually strong Japanese ruler, as in controlled, like, unusually large amounts of area. And
so
for
we'll
the
see
time.
more about this person in a bit.
Okay.
But she has the strength... strength of one of her punches was compared to Oryu, an exceptionally old and powerful dragon with a large amount of... So, powerful dragon. You'll see more about that dragon later, but she is very, very strong.
Okay. Kido.
One of her big things, though, is she's capable of receiving prophecies that she used to command people, and that's how she was such an effective ruler in her day. This is reflected in her charisma skill right here.
And Oracle of the Light.
Yes. That actually might be an upgrade of one of these skills.
That's pretty funny, actually. So natural body's funny because that's the joke about her in Tomb Raider. So I guess I could spoil that now. Spoilers for the Tomb Raider movie. Personally, I enjoyed it. Most people think it was a bit shit, but it's supposedly getting a sequel. But the thing about her in the... Have you seen the 2018 Tomb Raider?
No, I've not.
Are you gonna?
Probably not.
Okay. So Himiko is the person buried in the tomb, right? And she's called the Queen of Death, right? Like the Death Queen. And everyone thinks it's because she's a terrible tyrant who kills like thousands of people, right? And she sealed herself and the legend goes that her people sealed her away so that she could never harm anyone again, right? But they get into the tomb and they realize that it's not that she was like a horrible Queen of Death, right? It's that she had some sort of like flesh-eating bacterial disease that was benign for her, but affected everyone she touched, right? And her corpse still carries it, so like that some of the people touch the corpse and then they get this flesh-eating zombie disease thing. And she's and it's not that her people sealed her away, she sealed herself away for the safety of her people.
A big thing I'll point out here with the natural body is that with her still being able to lose muscle mass and gain weight, that is not normal for servants, as unfortunately evident with Julius Caesar when he's summoned. Had to bring him up here.
I don't suppose we'll get her stomping on Caesar too.
I don't know who her NP's targeting in the video. I've actually remained relatively unspoiled to most of the assets here.
You're getting to see a new NP too today.
Yes.
It's not just me. Look at me giving you new experiences.
Speaking of that NP is called Eternal Mirror that models the celestial bodies.
So that is actually a reference. One of the later sources in history talks about having her conflated with some astronomy and celestial body related stuff. You can find a reference to it on her Wikipedia page if you go over and look right now. But that is an actual reference. I just can't name it off the top of my head because it's very specific. But I know about the connection.
All right.
And honestly, I feel like it would be a little bit cheating to like go and try to look it up right now.
Yeah.
Especially after I got so specific earlier. Yeah, I know what I know.
You had the Wikipedia open for those anime game references.
Yeah. I know what I know. You can go look it up yourself, but it is an actual reference.
So her NP is her using the mirrors to communicate with something that's not verifiably human, which gives her a massive bonus in her intellect. This is to the point that without trying, she can see the near future without even having to come up with a full prophecy.
Foreigner.
Probably not, but possibly. This increase is caused by the mirrors that connect her to her future and past versions of herself from different time periods. And some of this does so when she increases her, it also does spill out into her allies too. So.
Also, I like the Keto's funny. I laughed at Keto because that's one of the names of the abilities in Bleach that the Shinigami can use. The Ketos are binding spells.
It's probably an actual term in Shintoism.
I think it is, yeah. No, it is. It is for sure. I remember, I think I mentioned it in one of my assignments from last semester's Asian philosophies class where I had to write about Shintoism for 4 pages. But I didn't... No. We're not going to talk about how much I actually retained from that class because it's not a good percentage.
I'll click into this and kind of skip past the end here, so kind of ignore that here while...
That's fine, I can ignore that shit. Alright, she gains intellect beyond... Okay, unhuman, true name, maximum out... Okay. Oh, these are the voices of heaven. Aww! By the way, she complains that the voices of heaven never mention a thing about her potential soulmate. Aww.
Alright, so we're gonna...
I hope she gets a Valentine's Day thing.
We're gonna jump into the NP.
Hey.
Himiko, Himiko, Himi, Himiko. Himi, Himi, Himiko, Miko, Himiko. 見えた！豊かな実りとみんなの笑顔。精神救援鏡。
I think that's a rare version of her NP. She probably has different NP rights. But also, I didn't know about that song. Because I've seen...
Oh, there's her second form.
玉ゆらに霞ゆ光。他の者の道行きをとことわに開きたまえ。精神救援鏡。
Remember, I said that they get that fucking long ass Hime name they conflated her with, or they called her. I think they just said that as part of.
でしょう。はい。 玉ゆらに霞ゆ光よ。他の者の道行きをとことわに開きたまえ。精神救援鏡。
And yeah, that's her. Do you want to see her final form do that?
Yes.
See if I can find
Please.
it. If they have it.
Isn't it? Well, there. No, isn't that her final form?
No, it's the same form. I don't think they...
Oh.
That means there probably wasn't a difference there.
Okay.
They just had the first one because the first one was the
Himiko,
Himiko.
That was very cute.
I didn't realize that was actually with her NP. I knew the song existed. I thought it was like a voice line on the shop or something.
No, this is cute. I like this. I like this design.
So before we go into craft essences, I did want to mention, I don't know the context that this is brought up in. I don't know why this is a thing, but Fate says she has a brother called the Nameless Turtle.
So she does have a I think she. So I mentioned that in some sources it said she ruled with the assistance of her younger brother in 1 or 2. That's probably a reference to that. I just don't.
Yeah.
Because he wasn't named in any of the sources I saw. I couldn't find a name for him.
Nameless Turtle.
Yeah. So maybe that's just Fate's. Also, in I don't know if it's true in Japanese folklore, but in Chinese folklore, turtles are associated with males and male genitalia. So
that might be the source of that.
Yeah. So this sounds terrible.
Is it?
So
is it?
It's the wrinkly head coming.
That right there.
Yeah.
Right, that.
Yeah. That one.
That one.
Yeah,
the character design. Apparently, he does assist her.
Oh, 10 out of 10.
Apparently, so there's another quick note here. Just another thing on my something fun list. Apparently, her luck isn't notably bad, except for when it comes to rain and weather.
I saw that. There was a comment in her bio that said she would be a priestess who is wishing for rain's best asset. Which is pretty fucking ridiculous.
Alright, time to go to the CEs. I am always blind on these.
I'm curious about the CEs.
So I guess first off, look at her artwork here.
Oh, we never saw the 4th.
I did see the fan service.
I like it. I still like it.
Elaborate art.
Yeah. I like it a lot.
I don't mean fan service in the bad way. I mean fan service in the good way. This is just a more elaborate drawing of them.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're fan service in the full way.
Ooh. Yeah. Cool.
Eyes open. Eyes
Yeah, so
closed.
she does have a stage 3 NP pose.
Yeah. Well, it's just it's a different outfit, so.
Yeah, not that much different.
I guess that's more than could be said about some servants. There was a servant that notably went like 2 or 3 years without being changed in her NP depending on her outfit.
Woof. Oh, we actually have a few.
Look,
open them all.
Oh yeah, I forgot one more thing.
Oh, yes. That last one.
Oh.
Mommy. I'm sorry. Mommy.
So the other character she's with is one of my favorite, more recent Fate characters. I won't tell you who it is, but we're gonna see her again one day.
Mommy. She is looming over us in that image like Lady Dimitrescu looms over people in that game.
I mean, look at them thighs.
Oh, thighs.
The turtle has expressions.
Ah! Well, the turtle is covered in blood.
That turtle has seen some
The
shit.
turtle is dying.
Maybe spoilers for Yamatai, I guess.
What?
I'm pretty sure that turtle probably appears in the Yamatai.
Oh, okay. Well,
right.
Go ahead and open them all up.
Himiko of the white chocolate.
Hey, some of us like us some milk chocolate. My favorite is first. Yeah. So this is her Bond CE?
My favorite sheet.
Okay. Oh, it's a mirror. Okay. Oh, that was it. When she's mentioned in connection to the celestial bodies, she's mentioned in connection to Amaterasu. You know the story about Amaterasu and the mirror? From the cave?
Oh, that connects to... There is another servant where we will be seeing the Amaterasu mirror trope again.
But that's the connection that one of the sources makes.
I wonder if there's an actual connection there in Fate, too. Because we do have an Amaterasu stand-in servant in Fate.
Okay, because yeah. Let's see, the person you... Oh, okay. There's the sturdy walls and many soldiers mentioned in her histories. And that she did not... Okay. But her nameless younger brother who assisted her and conveyed her oracles.
Nameless turtle.
Yeah.
over there.
I had many mirrors. Oh, brother got her that mirror. Wait, go down. That's so cute. Wait, it's not just a mirror, but a mirror given to me by my brother, who would give to me his share of the meal if I'm hungry. He would always call sister this, sister that, and do things for me, even after becoming the queen. He would run around everywhere as my substitute. He did many things, really many things for my sake. He gave his everything for me. In the end, he even no longer had his name. This is my favorite mirror.
Aww.
That is depressing as fuck, but really sweet in a fucked up kind of way. I like it. I like it. I think I like it.
One more look at the mirror.
Yeah.
What's that in the back? Or is it just different?
I think
fruits?
it's just offerings maybe, or just foods.
Himiko the light chocolate. This is her
Man,
Valentine's.
that chocolate has titties. That chocolate has big titties. I like me some light chocolate.
I'd love to eat those chocolates.
I'd like me some of them buns. Haniwa shaped chocolate needed by the founder queen of Yamataikoku. Yeah. Wasn't it Haniwa in the Kofun period? That the second half of the Yayoi period is considered close. They even mentioned the Yayoi period. Aww. Oh. It is said that back when they were younger, a certain older sister and younger brother were laughing while kneading clay together. That's right. This is the handmade chocolate that she gives to someone very important to her. Aww. All of a sudden, I feel bad for being horny about those bonbons. Not that horny, though. Not that bad, though.
Alright, so Himiko's Leisure.
Oh, I really like that. That's really pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah. Aw. Afternoon nap. That's cool.
Yeah, one more time with the art.
Yeah.
Alright, another Craft Essence EXP one. You remember the last one with Nagao Kage Tora?
Yeah.
These are meant to be burned.
Oh, look at her, she's so cute!
She was also Gouda Gouda style or Koha Ace, so that's why
Oh.
she has that design here.
She's so cute! I love it.
There's the turtle.
Yeah,
We're not
the
turtle enough
turtle.
For the turtle club.
Yellow turtle. The first queen of Yamataikoku, Himiko. It's a dispute or an unopened clam. Everything will immediately be resolved. Delicious Orient clams. It's a fucking clams. Nameless turtle. Sister, please do a divination. By the way, this is the souvenir bromide of Queen Himiko. Please go ahead and use it to level up. What is it with clams?
And this is an outfit
This
of hers.
must have been one of the themes.
Yes,
The spirit
the-
tour
this is
was
an
they were all
anniversary, yeah, CD.
traveling. Yeah. Yeah. Because so far we've seen a couple servants with this jacket sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That was just giving cool little alt designs that probably
Yeah.
will never see the light of day in game, but they're fun.
I have to admit, I actually prefer her other three designs.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Get some good side boob here, though.
That's a lot of side boob. That's an unprecedented amount of side boob.
Alright, and yeah, that's Himiko.
Yeah, no, you were right. Not a lot on her. This is probably going to turn out to be a fairly short episode.
Thing is, she's like a full year after Nagao Kage Tora, who also didn't have a lot on her.
Didn't have a lot on her, yeah.
Because Gouda Gouda is kind of... Well, they do sometimes get things like summer outfits, and they do get some of the themed outfits. Oftentimes, Gouda Gouda is Gouda Gouda, for better and worse. Because that means that we don't get a lot of, like, extra versions, because those extra versions will debut in Gouda Gouda once a year.
Yeah.
And we're not going to get to this now. At some point, this might be a super episode of all the servants that just were not fleshed out, but were, like, cameoed in Gouda Gouda. Gouda Gouda is infamous for having, like, you think this isn't fleshed out. Just having introduced these amazing servant designs, just to never use them. Do you remember Nobukatsu from Nobunaga?
Yeah.
He was originally one of those until the fans basically bullied Type Moon and Delightworks into making it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I'm a fan of Himiko. What about... And obviously, you don't know a whole ton about this servant
No,
either,
I
so
don't.
what do you think about it? For once, we can also get Knickknack's perspective.
I mean, you can always get Knickknack's perspective. I like Himiko. I like the design a lot, especially that last one.
Yeah.
And, okay, how can you not love Himiko?
Himiko.
Yeah.
That's very cute.
No, she's great. I'm I'm curious to see how she plays in game because I've heard she's good. I don't know what she does all the way though, and I'm not really spoiling that for myself. Unlike a few servants.
That's fair. That's fair. No, I like her. I think this was a good servant.
Mm-hmm.
We've had a run of real good servants recently, so I'm happy.
Who's next?
Yeah. Do we have a hint for who's next?
Let me see who's next first. I have not prepared this one unlike the last few we've done.
Yeah, I don't remember who's next.
Our theme for like this one, the
Yeah.
previous one, and the next one
Yeah.
are all Gouda Gouda, and that's your hint. I'm identifying the theme of the month now was Gouda Gouda. The next servant is a Gouda Gouda servant. Take your pick.
The next servant is also the last servant before our Halloween bash.
I'm excited. I almost saw the Halloween servant. I'm excited for that one.
Yeah, so lets you know we're recording a little ways out.
Yeah.
But I guess like, comment, subscribe. Come back for our next servant and Halloween after that.